Hey, good morning, guys. This is a repairability attempt for Miss Ursula Dillard. As you can see here, all state came out. The front half of the roof is okay. The back half of the roof is not. It has sustained some wind damage, so to make it easier to see on camera, I'm just going to mark a wind damage shingle right here that we're going to be attempting to repair. Let's just get show them kind of this is the one that's getting replaced today. Yep. Now, I want to show you guys the tools that I'll be using. I'll be using that all-in-one roof snake. I will be using a precision nail puller, a hammer, and regular nails. So I'm going to use the flat end of this roof snake as it's designed to just break the seals. You can tell this one's loose. It's the wind damaged one. Just break the seals on the one directly over. Right. This is a far left shingle. So for the adjuster watching, you know there's 3 tabs and a 3-tab shingle. We're just going to go ahead and mark them out like that. The area of repair is going to go all the way up 1, 2 into this second nail line section right here, all the way up into this second nail line section right here, and then the first nail line section's right here. So here's our repair area right here that we're going to be working with. So I'm just going to use the flat end of this and just go ahead and break all the seals just as carefully as I can. It's not too hot, not too cold out today. It's a beautiful day here in Georgia. All right. And just separate these as easily as we can. All right. Make sure everything's all nice and loose before we actually start pulling nails out. Now let's go ahead and just get an overview. I'm gonna go right to left, left to right, it doesn't matter. Just a close-up of the area that we're going to be working with today, right? So that everybody can see the condition of these shingles before we start pulling nails out. All right, now I'm going to be pulling the nail out of this first one here. And we're going to lift just slightly. Let's get a good before of that real quick. All right, good before. All right, I'm just going to dig this nail out. Tap it just enough to be able to grab that nail and pull that guy out. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to give it a couple taps. We're going to look at the condition afterwards. If you can see the top of the shingle, you can see that brittleness has really affected this roof. As the shingle is now cracked, the matting is broken. The second thing that I want to point out is right here, guys. Let's get the camera underneath here. Now, you can notice when I separated the shingles, I wasn't jamming the tool in. I was using the necessary force. And you can see this huge chunk right here, this huge chunk right here, and here you guys can see this is mat transfer, guys. This is on a shingle that we're not replacing. This shingle's matting is now broken and it's adherent to this one. This shingle is no longer functioning as well. But let's just go ahead and get that after one more time so you guys can see the condition up here at the top. Yep, so if you follow my finger, you can see where that brittleness cracking's really affected that shingle right there. Now, let's go ahead on to the next one. Let's get a good before that. All right, just lift it just enough to be able to dig this nail out. There we go. Just grab it. Notice I'm not cranking back on the shingles, not being unnecessarily rough. And just like in a brittle test, I'm going to give it a couple good taps. Kind of hard to see on this one, but especially over here on this side, you can see where that cracking is going all the way throughout the top of the shingle. That fiberglass matting is now cracked. It's broken. It's not functioning. The second thing I want to point out is underneath the shingle. And this seems to be a very common theme here. This shingle on top, which is not getting replaced, is now ripped. Its layers are right here. See that? That's the matting from the shingle above. That's mat transfer, guys. We can't have that. All right, so that shingle's no longer functioning either. All right, so let's go on to the next one. Let's get a good before this one right here. All right. And tap it just enough to be able to get that nail. Right. We got that nail. We're gonna grab it and we're gonna pull it out. Notice I'm not cranking back on the shingles. Most repair guys are not this careful. We're gonna give it a couple good taps. And wow, you can see really thick kind of right here on this. You can see where that brittleness cracking has really affected this shingle. That fiberglass matting is cracked. It is broken as well. Also, a common theme underneath. Look at this, guys. It's not as bad as the last one. Let's get a little up close. But you can see or chunks of this shingle on top are actually, right here, are actually ripped. The bottom of this shingle is ripped down to this shingle. This shingle's not being replaced, guys. Let's get it before this. Next one. Just enough to be able to grab that nail out, and you can really see that one on the During. You can see where that point of stress at the top of the shingles really causing the matting to break. You can see where the granules, where the matting has broken, has come off. As you can see right here. Oh. As you can see right here, all the way across the top of this shingle right here, you can see where that's an issue now. That's functionally damaged, guys. Also, a common theme here, mat transfer. Look, this is the shingle. This is the neighboring shingle. This shingle, this is not being replaced, is actually ripped to the neighboring shingle, which is also not being replaced. This matting right here helps this shingle stay whole. While this is ripped, it is no longer functioning. All right, guys, let's go on to the next one. Let's get it good before this. Yeah, it's kind of a little one. It's an itty bitty one. All right, this one has 2 nails in it. Notice it's not cranking back. Yeah, and as I hammer more and more on these shingles, they're just getting worse and worse. All right. Go ahead and just pull these guys out. All right, give it a couple taps. Yep, and on this one, even on the itty bitty one, just having to bend that shingle up to be able to get the nail out, even with the proper tools, not working, guys. Also, guess what? Common theme, guys. Look at that. Look at this. For the adjuster watching, you know this is mat transfer. All right, this shingle is ripped. This is a shingle that's not being replaced. It's no longer functioning. Let's go on to the next one. All right, get it good before. Lift it up just slightly, just enough to be able to dig this nail out. Yep. All right, give it a couple taps, just like in a brittle test. And once again, right here at the top, you can see the stick dark line. This is where the fiberglass matting on this shingle is cracked, it's broken, it's no longer functioning. What do you know? Look underneath. Look on this right side, right here. Look at this. Oh, that's matting from underneath this shingle. All right, let's go on to the last one. Pretty good before that. Just grab the nail, lift it just slightly to be able to grab the nail out from under the shingle. And you can see here as well, if you follow my finger, you can see where this fiberglass matting is cracked, is broken as well. And then also for the adjuster watching, you can see where this mat transfer, you can see chunks here, here, and over on this side right here, where it's a little bit worse for that. Now it should just be out with the old and in with the new, guys. So look, let's take a second. Let's look at all this mat transfer here on this shingle right here. This is from a shingle that's not being replaced. It's broken. It's broken off onto this shingle. It's adhered so tightly that the shingle will not separate without causing damage to the one on top. Now let's look at the one on the bottom. Guys, let's go ahead and just brush off, clean off our area a little bit. Look at the mat transfer here. This is on a shingle that's not being replaced from the shingle above it, right? 1, 2, right? 1, 2 of these shingles, because if there was wind damage, you can see where this mat transfer has really affected these other 2 tabs and is affecting the shingle underneath. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, I like to perform what they call a visual underlayment inspection. This stuff is meant to wick water away. It's not meant to hold water. But after prolonged water damage, you will see where in areas that wind-driven rain will actually damage and force this underlayment to hold water. So the underlayment really needs to be replaced as well. All right, so because this is what Allstate has suggested we do as a contractor on this repair, we're just gonna go out with the old and in with the new, right? I'm gonna put that new shingle in there, not an exact match, but hey, what do you know? All right, let's see. Give me some of these nails. All right, and now I'm just gonna move kind of quick in this section. Just gonna hammer these nails in one by one. Everywhere I pull the nail out, I'm gonna be putting a nail back in. See if I can get these guys to go in straight. Perfect. Now you can see with each hammer blow, these shingles around it are just really just falling apart. Let me go over to this other side, get that reveal right. Not lift back extremely roughly. Just go ahead and get it started. And then drive it home. All right. Now, the shingle is set. It's got 2 nails in it. We can just go ahead and at will, but I'm gonna move down. We can pretty much just put these nails in whichever order that we want. And you can see with each hammer blow, these shingles around it are getting worse and worse. You can see the granules just raining off from those places on the matting where it's broken. They're just falling apart. Oh, that one went in crooked. Gonna get that out of there. And drive it home. And the last but not the least shingle that put a nail under is this guy up here at the top. All right. Now, for the adjuster watching this, we ask you please take all of these facts into consideration. Not only is the condition of the roofs not amenable to repair because of the brittleness of the surrounding shingles, which is apparent in the repairs that the homeowner tried to do it themselves, but you can see here in the surrounding areas where those are broken, those are not good. They are not functioning. They'll be the next ones to be missing at the next gust of wind that reaches 15 miles an hour. Not only that, but mat transfer where the bottom of these shingles are actually torn and the matting on them is no longer functioning to be able to seal the way that the roof is intended to. And also the third fact is that underlayment is actually holding moisture from wind-driven rain. We ask that all of this stuff be accounted for by the adjuster watching this video. As a contractor, we cannot warrant a repair like this. This is not something that restores a homeowner. It leaves them in worse condition. As a contractor, we can't do stuff like this. We would ask that Allstate would not either. This repairability attempt has failed. Thanks for watching.